Hello and welcome. Today we're diving into the topic of intercultural communication in the workplace. We're joined by Emiliano Garcia, who worked at international firm in Dallas, Texas. We'll talk about the experience, the challenges of working in the various environment, and how they navigated the cultural differences. Thanks for joining us, Emiliano.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Let's start with your summer in Dallas. Could you tell us about the company you worked for, your role, and what your main responsibilities were?
Sure. I worked at Amazon, a global firm with headquarters in Seattle. My role was a salesman, and I primarily worked on customer service. It was a great learning experience, especially being part of such a multicultural environment.
That sounds interesting. When you first started your work in Dallas, did you notice your cultural difference between your work environment there and what you're used to? How did you adapt?
Yes, absolutely. One of the first things I noticed was how direct communication was in the workplace compared to Mexico, where we tend to be more indirect and polite. It took some time to adjust, but I learned to embrace it by being more straightforward, while still respecting others' communication styles.
Intercultural communication is crucial in such environments. How did you handle communication with colleagues from different cultural backgrounds? Did you need to adapt your communication style depending on who you were speaking to?
Yes, I definitely had to adjust. For instance, I worked with colleagues from different countries and noticed that they had different approaches to meetings and teamwork. Some were more formal, while others were more casual and collaborative. I had to learn to balance both by being aware of their cultural backgrounds and adjusting how I interact with each person.
That's fascinating. Did you face any specific challenge while working with colleagues from various cultures? How did you manage the challenge?
One challenge was understanding how different cultures view time and deadlines. In some cultures, deadlines are strict, while in others they are more flexible. This caused some confusion at first, but at the end I managed by setting clear expectations early on and confirming timelines with everyone involved.
Wow, it sounds like communication was a key for your success. How did the diversity of the workplace benefit the projects you're working on? Did you having such a range of perspective improve of the work?
Definitely. Having people from different backgrounds brought a unique idea and perspective that I personally wouldn't have considered otherwise. It also made the team more innovative and creative because at the end we were always challenged to think outside the box and approach from problems and different angles.
Finally, what advice would you give someone working in a cultural environment for the first time? What should they keep in mind about intercultural communication?
My advice is to be open minded and observant. Don't assume that everyone thinks or communicates the same way as you do. It is important to listen actively and ask questions if something isn't clear. And most important, be respectful of the cultural differences and try to learn from them.
That's an excellent advice. Thank you so much for sharing your experience with us today.